Welcome to buy our laser machine. After receiving the machine, first of all, you need to check the accessories of the machine. This is the light guide arm. You need to take out the light guide arm from the box. This is the skin treatment probe. It is used for skin care treatments. These three are laser cutting probes. They are used in the cutting mode of the laser. These are the intimate treatment probes, for internal and external vulva treatments. This is the foot control switch. This is the funnel. There are three other things you need to have on hand. First, a piece of printer paper, or one white paper will also be okay. Second, prepare a roll of thermal paper. The thermal paper used at the cash register can also be used. The third thing is a bucket of pure or distilled water. You need 5 liters of water. We'll need these things later when you install the machine. Let's install the light guide arm. First you need to install the light guide arm vertically through this hole here. Keep the arm vertical. You can't mount it without it being vertical. Tighten the nut after mounting. Step 2. Find out this wire. It needs to be inserted into this jack. There are 2 small holes here. There's a protrusion here, 2 in here. Insert the plug into the jack. Don't shake or twist it, just insert it vertically. Third, this transparent tube is inserted into the socket. The installation of the light guide arm of the machine is finished. This is the plug for the foot control switch. The plug should be aligned with these 3 holes. There's a notch here, that need corresponds to this bulge. Insert the plug and tighten the nut. The installation of the machine is complete. Next, fill the machine with water. There are 3 holes on the back of the machine. This is the water inlet. This is the overflow. This is the drain. Take out the water funnel. Unscrew the cap on the water inlet. Connect the funnel to the water inlet. Fill water through the funnel. Only pure or distilled water can be filled. Start filling until the water flows out of the overflow. This means that the water has been filled. If no water comes out of the spout, keep filling. When the water is full, remove the funnel. Then you can start the machine. The water in the machine needs to be replaced once a month. When the water is filled and everything is ready, plug in the power cord and we can turn on the machine. Start the machine. This is the home menu. There are 3 menus at the top of the screen. Click the first one. There are 4 modes underneath. The first is the skin care mode. This mode is for skin, pimples, acne treatment, and stretch marks, scars treatment, and so on. Those are the function of this mode. 3D mode is for cutting. It's for cutting bumps, such as warts, filiform warts, flat warts, or to cut fleshy bumps. These treatments require the use of this model. 4D mode is for private treatment. It's for vaginal tightening treatment. This mode is for external treatment. It's also a private treatment mode. It can improve urinary incontinence and treats the closure of the labia majora and minora. Let's look at the first mode. Click to enter the skin mode. This mode needs to be used in conjunction with this laser probe. There is a lens here. Attach it here. And there's a cold air duct here. There's a screw here. Put the tube and the screw together. It'll blow cold air. Cool down the skin of the customer. This is the preview. This is the shape of the laser array. Click on the preview. The shape of the laser will appear. It's the same as here. The emitted lasers will form a matrix of this shape. That's the shape we're previewing right now. Make sure you turn on the preview before you start. If you don't click the preview, you won't be able to see the laser pattern, and can't judge the area of skin to be treated. This button is for keep. It has a memory function. We can set the laser parameters in advance. And then click keep. It will store the parameters. You don't need to go through your parameter list all the time. This button is back. Click on it to go back to the home. This is the edit button. It has no additional function. Clicking on this graphic will switch between laser shapes. Click on it. It's now a circle. Here you can see that the shape has changed to a circle. There are also squares, triangles, and diamonds. We can switch between these shapes if we want, or choose the right shape depending on the size of the area to be treated. Touch here to change the shape. We'll start with a square. If the scar we are treating is in the shape of a long strip, click on the arrows to adjust the size of the shape. Click on it and the shape here will change. Click on the down arrow. The matrix shape changes. It becomes flatter. The preview image of the laser probe is changed as well. The shape here has also gotten flatter. If you want to make the width of this shape smaller, we can click on this arrow. The width of the shape changes. Now it's a small square. The shape can be set as small as 4 by 4. The maximum can be set to 20 by 20. Let's set the shape to the maximum. The numbers here represent the height and width of the graph. The shape has been set to 20 by 20. Next, let's talk about the other parameters. This is the laser energy. This represents the power of the laser. This is the laser coverage rate. It's not adjustable. It's calculated from the shape and the dot spacing. These two parameters are calculated automatically. We just need to know what they mean. This is the power, which ranges from 1 to 60 watts. We need to choose the right power for the skin treatment. We need to prepare a piece of printing paper to test the laser's energy and the shape of the matrix. If a skincare treatment is performed, the laser needs to penetrate 0.5 to 1 sheet of paper. If treating pores, the laser needs to penetrate 1 to 1.5 sheets of paper. If treating acne and pimples, laser needs to penetrate 2 to 2.5 sheets of paper. If treating scars and stretch marks, laser needs to penetrate 1.5 to 2.5 sheets of paper. We choose the laser energy according to the client's condition. All treatments should refer to the depth of penetration of the laser into the paper. This is the residence time of the laser. The longer the laser stays on the skin, the more thermal damage it causes to it, and the longer it takes for the laser to penetrate the skin. If the number is smaller, the less thermal damage it does to the skin, so this number is usually 1. This is the laser's interval time. It's 1 millisecond, don't change it. This is the laser's point spacing. Commonly used spacing is 0.7 to 1.2. It also needs to be modified according to the area of the treatment site. If the treatment area is small, it can be set to 0.8 to 0.9. If the treatment area is large, such as large stretch marks, we can set it to 1.0 to 1.2. This is the laser's scan mode. There are 3 modes: normal, mid-split and random. Now it's normal mode. It is the most commonly used mode. This is the mid-split mode. The laser will shoot from both sides and converge in the center. This is random. Laser will be shoot randomly. These three modes are just different ways of shoot the laser, but all of them will form the shape we set. Just like this. Usually, you can choose normal mode. This is the scan time of the laser. Just choose the default parameter. Now for the energy test. Prepare a piece of paper. Fold the paper in half 3 times. Now, the power is 12 watts. We don't know what cosmetic treatments this energy is good for. So let's test it first. Set it to 20 by 20. Set it to 1.0. Click on the preview and ready button. Pull down the light guide arm. Put your hand under the paper. Probe fits perfectly on the paper. Press the foot switch. Emit laser light. When the laser is fired, it stops automatically. Here are a lot of black laser dots on the paper. The first paper is completely penetrated. The second paper is also penetrated by the laser. The third paper has almost no black spots on the surface. The laser has penetrated 2 sheets of paper. The energy is 12 watts. If you think 12 watts is too much, you only want to penetrate 1.5 sheets of paper. We'll reduce the power to 9 watts. Let's test it on paper. Now the laser can completely penetrate 1 sheet of paper. And the second one has marks on it. But there's nothing on the back of the second sheet. A 9-watt laser can penetrate 1.5 sheets of paper. Now it's 9 watt of energy. Whenever a machine is used for a long time, the laser bar of the machine may be worn out. The power of the machine will be different from a new machine. That's why we need to test it on paper before treatment. Let's test the point spacing again. Click here. Set the point spacing to 0.8. When it is set to 0.8, the laser dots are much denser. This is the function of point spacing. The laser can still penetrate a sheet and a half of paper. This is the difference between different values of point spacing dot. After all the parameters are set, the laser is pointed at the area to be treated and pressed down. Shoot laser close to the skin. Click the back button. Here is the 3D mode of the machine. The 3D mode is used to cut moles and warts. Click on the button for 3D mode. This is the single mode, which emits only 1 laser beam. But this mode is rarely used. This is the continuity mode. It shoots a continuous laser beam. It is used to treat raised foreign bodies. This mode is usually used in hospital scenes. We rarely use it in cosmetic treatments. This is pulse mode. We adjust the machine to the appropriate treatment parameters. It will shoot a laser beam to sharpen the bulge. It's also necessary to test on a piece of paper, but the laser can't penetrate the paper. The laser power needs to be set to 20 watts. That's the name of the mode. The parameters here do not need to be adjusted. This is the pulse width of the laser. The higher the value, the more damage the laser will do to the skin. The default value is 0.5. The energy here is 20 watts. This is the laser pulse interval. This parameter must be adjusted. It's now 0.5 milliseconds. If we don't adjust this parameter, the laser will be in cutting mode. This parameter should be set to 100 to 150. This mode requires the use of this laser probe. Let's take the skincare probe off. Pinch the bottom edge and turn the silver part. Attach this probe to the light guide arm. Turn the silver part. Attach the cold air duct here. Place the probe like this. Set the parameters. Test the laser power on a piece of paper. Click Ready and step on the foot switch. Wandering on the paper. There are a lot of small black dots on the paper and a clattering sound. These prove that this is the correct mode. No black dots on the back of the paper. This proves that the energy and the pulse interval are correct. If you want to treat a bump, let me show you on paper. Keep your foot on the foot switch. You need to smooth out the bump by drawing a circle on top of it. Do it like this. This is the 4D mode. This mode requires the use of its own lens. Let's introduce the internal treatment mode. This mode is used for vaginal tightening. This is the preview. This is the back button. This is the edit button. This is the ready button. This is a circle shape. The default shape is a circle, no need to adjust it. All the parameters don't need to be adjusted. This is the laser power. We need to test it on thermal paper. Prepare some thermal paper like this. It's the paper we use at the cash register. Tear a piece of thermal paper to prepare for the test. Here's the residence time. Just set it to 1.0. This parameter is the laser's point. It represents when the laser shoots a circle. How many points will appear in there? For young customers, you can set it to 24 points. For older customers, or for those who have loose vaginas, you can set it to 32 to 36 points. The maximum number can be set to 48. But 48 points are hardly ever used. 24 points is the most commonly used. This is point spacing. This parameter should be adjusted according to the scale of the 4D probe. It's a very small spacing between each of the two laser points. The 4D probe has a scale on it. You have to refer to the scale during the treatment. Each time the laser shot out, it should be withdrawn 5 mm. Like this. Here, set it to 5. Each time the laser is shot, drawn out by 5 mm, drawn out again. So it's set to 5 here. This is the scan mode, normal, mid-split, random. Usually normal is selected. This is scan time. Usually set to 1. This is scan line number. Usually this is set to 5. This parameter should also be set to 5 lines. If you want a denser laser, you can set this number to 7. Normally the number is 5. We need to test these parameters on thermal paper first. But the laser won't go through the thermal paper. Just to show some black dot on the surface, we'll start at a lower energy level. Set it to 7. We need to install the laser probe for the intimate treatment first. Remove the original laser probe. Install the intimate treatment lens. Don't tighten this part too much. Then install the probe with the scale. Install the cone. Tighten here. Then you can see the infrared laser on the cone. The infrared light must be on the tip of the cone. If the laser is not on the tip of the cone, adjust the position here. Make sure the laser is on the tip of the cone. It's got to be on the tip of the cone from every angle. Wrap the thermal paper around the probe. Click on Ready. Hit the foot switch. You'll see a circle of laser light. Spread out the thermal paper. We'll see a parallel track. Here are the 24 points we set up. Each row has 24 dots, the same as in the screen. Each column has 5 dots. Same as here. The height of each column is 5 mm. If you want the points to be denser, you have to increase this value. If you want more points in each column, set this value. Put the probe inside the vulva during treatment. Check the scale here. Check here. Each shot takes 0.5 centimeters. Up to the vaginal opening. Repeat the procedure 3 times. Lastly, the treatment of the external. Click here to go to the menu. Here is a small square. All parameters do not need to be adjusted. This is the power. We're going to do a test on paper later, too. The laser can't penetrate the thermal paper. If the laser produces small white dots on the skin, which means it's the right energy. This is the residence time. It's usually set to 1.0. And this is the interval time. It's usually set to 1 millisecond. This is point spacing. It is usually 0.5 millimeters. If you feel the laser is too dense, you can increase this parameter. It is usually 0.5. It has 3 modes: normal, mid-split and random. Usually use normal or random. This is scan times, which is usually scanned once. We need to install the intimate care lens first. It's required for both internal and external treatments. This is the U-probe. Install it. Click on the preview. You'll see a square shape. The shape should be in the center of the probe. Click on Ready. Keep the probe about 1 or 2 centimeters away from the skin during the treatment. Laser spots appear when emitting laser light. Laser does not penetrate thermal paper. If a small white spot appears on the customer's skin, means the power is okay. The laser can also overlap the previous part by the 1st of March. Now for the maintenance of the machine. Step 1. How to maintain the laser lens of your machine. The laser lens should be cleaned after each treatment. Use alcohol to wipe them down. All these lenses should be wiped with alcohol. These are intimate treatment probes. They need to be autoclaved. Use an autoclave to sterilize it before use. Other accessories can be sterilized with alcohol. The surface and the light guide arms of the machine, both of them can be wiped and cleaned with alcohol. Wipe them clean. The water in the machine should be changed once a month. We must use distilled or purified water to fill the machine. If you need to transport the machine, must drain the water first. The machine must be filled with water before turning it on. Remove the light guide arm during transportation. Cover with a dust cap to prevent dust ingress. Be careful when replacing the lenses. Only the corresponding probe lens can be screwed into the unit. Do not touch the inside, including these and these parts. Do not unscrew those parts. When you need to replace the parts, screw here. Please do not loosen the nuts in these parts, especially inside of here.